YouTube ish. About to get a video out real quick. Really want to see this video. The dark life after rappers fall off. Like, comment, subscribe.
When rappers become famous, there's only two ways it can go. Either they go on to cultivate a core audience who will listen no matter what, or they can join the laundry list of other artists who experienced what many would consider a fall-off. Whether it's poor first-week sales because your last album flopped, a crowd not chanting a single word to your songs at a concert, or because you had false
Nobody was there. What happened?
allegations pinned against you, a fall-off can come in many shapes and sizes. But what happens after the spotlight gets taken from them? Do they lose their mind, start scamming their audience, or embarrass themselves for views online? Well, the answer is all of the above plus more, and it's tough for people who were once fans of them to watch as it all plays out. It's your boy Luesta, and this is the dark life after rappers fall off. But real quick, let me put you on to something that's actually been helping me eat good while staying on track lately. As someone who works from home, Factor has been so clutch for me. It's a prepared meal service that delivers fresh, never frozen meals straight to your door, ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. Their ingredients are fresh and way better than overpriced takeout you'd regret 10 minutes later. Personally, I've been running with their protein plus meals and grabbing the cold pressed juices from their add-ons to make sure I'm feeling great throughout the day. If that sounds like something you'd be into, or you're just tired of eating the same boring stuff every day, head to factor75.com or click the link below, use code 50luesta to get 50%.
They got, let me see what they got. But chicken.
Off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50luesta at factor75.com for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Alright, now let's talk about how Young Jock went from hit records to rideshare apps. I know
Watching the Young Jock interview. That's crazy. But yeah.
I know you're probably thinking that the obvious answer is to just get a job. After all, that's what the vast majority of us do to pay the bills. However, there are dangers that come with attempting to have a role like that once your face has been plastered all over TV, especially
Exactly. It's like once you're a celebrity, you out there. And it's like it's not like you could be like, I don't want to be a celebrity no more. It don't even work like that.
if you're considering having any sort of customer service job. To demonstrate this, look no further than someone like Young Jock. Back in the day, the southern rap mainstay made some major waves. His breakout track, Going Down, was a massive hit, with both his debut album New Jock City and its 2007 follow-up Hustlenomics peaking at number 3 on the charts. In chasing his dreams, he reached the heights of fame and fortune, but along the way, he got a first-hand look at the darker side of the industry.
Cassie.
And that's thanks to his ties with Bad Boy Records and Diddy. In fact, he claims he saw some of the most heinous deeds firsthand.
I was watching Puff. Nigga Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came on and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that?
Diddy on some other.
Like, so when I'm like, what the fuck? So when I look up there, this white woman side of her head was shaved, my nigga. So within like 2-3 days, she sent me a picture. I'm like, she done shaved her motherfucking head.
As is often the
Diddy, wow.
case, he was the forefront of the scene for a little while until he wound up as an independent artist.
Diddy is wild. Like,
From there, he ventured into the reality TV world with a spell on Love and Hip Hop, but somewhere along the lines, it looked like he fell on enough hard times that it merited him becoming a driver for a rideshare app. And the minute that he was spotted, the public tried to clown the former star over his fall from grace.
I just want to ask a question. Are you Young Jock? Can you turn around?
I mean, I think y'all put that part together, yeah.
Oh, you said
Oh, so you must have fell off or something like
I gotta fall off. I just felt like it's an easy way to get some easy money right here downtown. I meet people.
While there were naturally jokes being made, some people felt that he was treated unfairly by being put on blast like that. What is wrong with these people in the car with Young Jock? Can you turn around so I can post your face online? He's a human being. How
facts.
They're gonna clown young Jock for driving an Uber, but they need a ride. However, in spite of the internet leaping to his defense, young Jock claimed that the whole thing was a misunderstanding and that he wasn't truly an Uber driver or anything like that. Apparently, the company he was working for was known as Pull Up and Go, who Jock has since claimed that he has 30% stake in. And to him, it was important to prove that just because you were once a famed rapper, it doesn't mean you're above putting in a day's work. You have to show them what humility is, and that you're not too big to do the right thing by making an honest living. I think that's why a lot of kids and even adults go astray, because they're too ashamed, they're too prideful to do something. The most phenomenal part of this experience from this
Yeah, Snoop Dogg was one of
going viral is the amount of support. In fact, later down the line, he went as far as to claim that the entire thing was a skit to promote the company.
So the dude that was actually in the car talking, he works for Pull Up and Go. The guy who was talking shit, him and the girl works for the company too. So I said, y'all sit in the back seat, I'ma drive, act like I'm driving, you talk shit to me. They was like, are you sure you wanna do this? Cause this could have a really serious backlash. I mean, people are gonna really think you broke. I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, when they find out what this shit is, how it works, and it's gonna be cheap.
See, Young Jock's smart, actually. That's smart. And I was just watching the interview on what he was saying. He was spitting facts. I didn't know he was this smart, though.
People that got them Uber and Lyft, and people can make more money. I said, how you think I care fucking less? I said, I'll take 30% of $1 billion subscription-based app any day. And we did, and that shit said, boom, that shit went through the roof. I get money. I'm like, I'm on TV, radio, I still do fucking shows. What are y'all niggas talking about? Like, you should know me better than that. What the fuck would I be doing driving a goddamn Uber? When the people who know me sit back and be like, that was some genius ass marketing. You was just willing to put yourself in the fire.
But even though he proclaimed that he was an investor rather than your average worker, the response he got spoke to the stigma attached to taking on a regular job after a prosperous rap career. Soon, he was shaded by 42 Doug and Lil Baby on the track We Paid, where he declared, coming out a legend from ATL isn't exactly cool for them to do, particularly because Lil Baby is from his town. But strangely, Jock didn't even catch the diss at first, and was playing it on his radio show without realizing.
Before I go broke like Jock. Which Jock?
Which Jock?
Jock. I said, like,
He can't be talking about me.
I said, well, goddamn, then that thing, you know, that shit that went there.
Then you put two and two together. This the niggas in the Chargers.
That shit. No, I saw it. I saw it.
And even after that, he insisted he felt no ill will about it.
Before I heard the words and all that part, I was just like, this shit, that nigga, go, I love that little nigga. And I hear that shit, I was like, oh my God. I saw like, they gonna be 2 years of jail.
Did you know that though?
That's a, nah.
Did you ever meet him after the
I ain't
fact?
never seen him. But you gotta think here, check this out. Coming off the radios, coming up, yeah, I wouldn't. Man, listen, man. Y'all edit the nigga up. Man, I don't give a fuck. That's home. I'm gonna hear that shit at home every day.
Whether or not he means it, Jock insists that he no longer wants to rap, and as he approaches his 50s, his mind is on
Dang, yeah, 44.
other things.
I do a lot of producing.
Okay.
It's kind of like I'm not as passionate about rapping. So it's not like, I need to just get in here and just do something. I don't.
Right. You still perform your hits for the check,
yeah, you're damn
but
right.
but you ain't going in there saying I'm working on no album, EP, mixtape, no.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn digital gift cards.
Shit like that.
Basically, they gotta get what you already gave because you're not coming with nothing new.
It's not even necessarily that. It's just like being inspired to do that.
Given everything else he's got going on, it's fair to say the dirt thrown on Jock's name for allegedly doing rideshare gigs didn't stick nearly as much as people expected it to. But for others, they just couldn't beat the allegations. Back in the mid-2000s,
Who is this? Charlento.
Roscoe Dash had some
Oh, Roscoe Dash. Oh, the way time. Wait, he made that song? Do that, Roscoe Dash. All the way turned up. The Soldier Boy. He's from ATL. from there, from Arkansas.
Motion, with tracks like No Hands alongside Waka Flocka making him a notable name in the industry. But his solo major label project, 2010's Ready Set Go, failed to make the splash he hoped. And after that, his career was left to flounder due to what he believed to be label drama.
Yo, what really happened? I was in a bad label situation, so I'm gonna say this just to set the record straight. Originally, when I went and did my deal, I did a management deal with Boom Man, right, from MMI at the time. He goes and gets me this deal, or tries to get me this deal with Def Jam. The situation with Travis Porter and whose record it is messed up the deal with Def Jam through Tony Neal.
But you signed the Boom Man on the management.
On the management, but I didn't know it was a 360. See what I'm saying? So he really had me on the management and the...
You gotta watch out for the 360, man. Isn't that when they're not letting you, they'll take all your, they like own all your stuff and they won't let you drop?
Artist side, or the recording side too, but I didn't know that at the time. 18 years old, I ain't know. When we get to the next situation with...
Young as hell.
Or tries to get me this deal with Def Jam. The situation with Travis Porter and whose record it is messed up the deal with Def Jam through Tony Neal.
But you signed the Boom Man on the management.
On the management, but I didn't know it was a 360. See what I'm saying? So he really had me on the management and the artist side, or the recording side too, but I didn't know that at the time. 18 years old, I ain't know. When we get to the next situation with the furnishing company furnishing me the Interscope, he had already sold my contract. I think I was working on Can't Catch the Lambo at this time, or Demolition 2020. He sold my contract to that furnishing company and got out the way, but he had already hit my publishing too. So it just created a bad situation for everybody involved.
So he done got the publishing, the deal with the label. So he done already made his money. So he like, here, y'all can have them.
That's why MMI is not MMI no more, because he even fell out with the business partner. See what I'm saying? That's why I changed to Authentic Empire. That's really Roscoe Dash money. That
You can't be oblivious. And it's like, you got most. He said he was on 18 years old. Young as hell.
he went and started that label with. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, yeah, so, and that's when the whole trajectory of what he was doing changed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of to the wolves at that point because I'm with some new people that I just met through a furnishing company. I'm signed to a deal with a major label. So this is really my shot that I wanted as a kid, dreaming of getting a record deal, but it's tied to some other bullshit too.
And while we didn't hear much about what was occurring with his life, the last thing that people expected was that he would go from number 13 on the charts to being outed online as working for Lyft. Back in 2017, Twitter user @PMPortier called out Dash for a canceled ride, claiming, "I had somewhere to be, so since you inconvenienced me, I'ma expose you're a Lyft driver now." As the public got the usual jokes off about a fallen star, he attempted to downplay it immediately with a lengthy statement. Earlier today, it was brought to my attention that a Twitter user tweeted out a screenshot from a Lyft fare, which included a picture of myself in a white Tahoe. First things first, yes, that is my vehicle. Yes, that is me in the photo. There is no denying that. Why would I? However, I do not drive Lyft. I own several vehicles, and periodically I lend them to my friends so they are able to make a little extra cash. I consider myself a successful entrepreneur. While talking to any successful businessman, they'll tell you the same thing. Creating multiple streams of income is the key to a long and very lucrative career financially. Billing himself as a successful businessman, Roscoe later doubled down and detailed exactly what was occurring.
You know what y'all probably thinking? Does Roscoe drive Lyft? Is this not the same white Tahoe that is circulating all around the internet? Is that not a Lyft sticker on the same Tahoe that is circulating around the internet right now? The answer is yes. Now, this is one of my vehicles. For those of y'all who don't know me, I have children. Can't fit too many kids in a coupe, okay? So this is one of my cars. When I'm not using it, when I'm not traveling, when I'm doing whatever I'm doing with it, I allow people, friends, family, whatever, to come and use the car for whatever reasons, whether that be partying, transportation services.
But for all that he tried his utmost to shoot himself some bail, not everyone was buying his explanation. Funny story. I live in Atlanta. I used to work for a cell phone call center and I was going to lunch. I saw him in an alley and it looked like he was cleaning it out. Come to find out he was a Lyft driver. He had Uber and Lyft stickers on the back of his car. When I looked in his direction, he gave me the deer in the headlights look. He claimed in 2017 that he lends cars out to his friends, but is his face on the app when it says someone is approaching? As harsh as it is, audiences will always have something to say when a former star falls on hard times. Even if they still work in the arts, but simply take another route, it may still be regarded as a fall off by an audience who want to see you out there flexing as hard as possible as the ultimate marker of success. This is most certainly the case for Rory, an artist.
Rory. But wasn't he on that song? Falcon. What's his? Yeah, Rory.
Who came into the game with a lot of big chatter around his future, but ultimately couldn't deliver on the promise he showed. After making his name on the underground scene, with his unique blend of rap that came coupled with influences from other genres, Rory signed to Columbia, and was pushed so hard initially that it sparked the industry plant chatter. Along the way, his unorthodox vibe meant that he was quickly compared to literal legends long before he'd proven anything.
I'm sure you hear this and know this and are doing it on purpose, but Andre 3000 sounds like is your...
You hear me talking right now? I'm talking, and I spend large hours of my days alone. I don't believe we share universal space alone. It's the same voice as my normal voice, you get what I'm saying? So it's nothing being done on purpose.
No, it's just part of who you are.
But it's something, yeah, it's a southern drawl, and people see it in my face somewhat, our facial hair, and no matter what I put out, classical music their whole life. Shit, I study Andre, I study, and I'm not ashamed of it. I love it, you know, bro. And I own it.
Despite some big singles, such as Devil's Whisper, his 2015 debut album ultimately flopped, and peaked at number 77 with 5,900 sales. Following that, he endured 3 years in the wilderness before 2018 when he finally got off his label. I want out of the label when the people who believed in me transitioned jobs to be replaced by strangers who don't know me. Rory explained in detail in a follow-up email. I went to Coachella without any support from the label. It was like they were trying to put me in a position of fear and weakness so I could run out of money and they could control me. I would rather take my career on a path where I can play with my friends, stay with my family, and remain physically, psychologically, and spiritually well. Clearly, Rory was happy to sacrifice the prospect of commercial success in
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI
in order to enact the vision that he had for his music. And while it likely isn't lucrative, Rory continues to bring his music to the people in numerous ways. For starters, he's leading a nonprofit known as The Woods Worldwide, which is focused on expanding a culture of sustainability, art, healing, and autonomy through creating recurring events such as concerts, jams, keiko ceremonies, yoga sessions, and multimedia productions. As part of this mission, he's been performing in a whole host of unconventional spaces.
ATL, come check this out. 7 to midnight, tonight. 10:18, still in a dope performance. Among the Ruins, check it out. I'll be there, make sure you pull up.
Alongside that, he runs a jam night in ATL, enabling budding musicians to literally perform alongside him. In terms of his own output, he's still prolific when it comes to dropping music. The only problem is that it's reaching an increasingly smaller audience. And while it would be fine if he was content with that, you get the same sense that he still pines for a mainstream comeback, with the multi-talented artist taking to social media to try and hop on TikTok trends. Ultimately, there's no harm in Rory secretly harboring a desire to be at the top of the industry again. After all, it's understandable that he, just like everyone else, wants another shot at glory. At the end of the day, these aspirations don't hurt anyone, and in the process, he seems to be trying to uplift his community. But unfortunately, not everyone takes such a noble route when they venture back into normal life after a run at the top. Because for some of them, the prospect of going back to a 9-to-5 doesn't compute for them. In fact, they decide to use their platform to try and make a quick, dishonest buck from their once loyal fans. For a brief moment, YB and Namir look to have the world in his hands. Alongside Almighty J and Corday, his crew, who began linking up on Xbox Live before venturing into the real world, were touring the globe on the strength of the buzz around around the collective. But after his comrades left him behind, YBN Namir's career has been a train wreck, or a soul train wreck to be more specific.
Oh, hell no. Bro, I'm scared to put my headphones back.
Collective. But after his comrades left him behind, YBN Namir's career has been a train wreck, or a soul train wreck to be more specific.
Oh, hell no. Bro, I'm scared to put my headphones back on. Bro, I hear the trash without hearing the trash. Why is this nigga talking like that? Bro, it sound like somebody pulling your nuts.
Ever since the track with the historically savage dislike ratio first emerged, Namir has been written off as a laughingstock. And now that no one is checking for him anymore, he's ripping off his own fans by flagrantly refusing to do what he said he would do for them. Since then, he's engaged in fraudulent IG giveaways, reportedly making off with 7K in the process.
So they posted this on their story, blocked me after stealing $7,000 from me. YBN Namir, gotta be the brokest rapper out there. He ran off with the money months ago. I decided to reach out one last time yesterday. And this is the DM conversation with them. Supposed to go live in 1 or 2 hours. Oh, I bet about to hit him now. So when we gonna get our money back? Bro, I've been going through real life. I'll get you your money. I don't even check my DMs. I'm not in control of any of that. I don't even know what bread you're talking about. I've never been in control of that.
This is clearly very shady behavior, but thankfully, he's regularly got his comeuppance. Back when Aiden Ross was initially toying with the idea of launching his own boxing promotion, he intended to set up a fight between streamer Annoying TV and formerly prominent rapper YBN Namir. With his buzz long gone and his crew long gone, Aiden offered him 20K to fight on his live stream. Yet when Namir asked for 100 grand to show up, Aiden publicly ridiculed him on stream.
YBN Namir versus Annoying TV, but YBN Namir asked for $100,000, bro. Top literally laughed at the manager and hung up. You rappers that have not made a hit, no disrespect, stop asking for too much money, bro. You are not getting it, bro. You are not getting that shit, bro. No, stop. Namir, you're not worth $100,000. You fell off. You suck at music. You failed your music career.
On top of that wake-up call from Aiden, Namir has also been trolled on his IG DMs. At times, the results have gone viral, with the screenshots not only unveiling his minuscule feature cost, but how badly he's been rinsed by others. How much for a feature plus promo? I'm Brady. 1K, brother. Let's get it. Sadly, Namir isn't the only one who's gone down this immoral route. Among the very wave of artists that J. Cole was referring to on 1985, everyone knows by now how much his shows dried up long after his initial wave withered away. But much like Namir, he didn't let this deter him from trying to get money out of his unwitting audience. At one stage, he was setting up beat battles, which he charged $15 to enter. But according to those involved, it was just an elaborate scam. On his Instagram, he said that he got 650 beats, submissions, and went through all of them in 2 days, 5 hours each day. Even if each beat was 1 minute long, he wouldn't have enough time to listen to all those beats entirely. It should have been handled a bit differently if you're paying money to get it judged. All in all, they didn't organize this very well, and they surely didn't put
You really gotta listen to a beat, like really soak it
in the time or effort for this event not to look like a big sham. Edit. I was told a lot of people had mail trackers and their beat wasn't open. Wow, if that doesn't make you think differently of an artist. As if that wasn't enough to permanently sour the public on the Dead Star rapper, he then executed a crypto rug pull as well. Initially, Perp and his manager promised a fair launch.
Wasn't he on the 2018 XXL with Bobby and Namir?
only for them to backpedal and claim they were selling only to cover costs, but were in it for the long haul and it was time to build. And with that, any last chance there was of him redeeming himself in the eyes of his audience were long gone. Sadly, this behavior is incredibly prevalent among the SoundCloud generation, with many of them who've since flopped enlisting their massive online followings that they garnered at their height to rinse anyone they can. Among them who have been guilty of this is
I know him. He's from Jersey.
Skinny from the Nine, a New Jersey rapper best known for tracks like Love Blast and Jump Out That with the late PNB Rock. The artist fell off without ever releasing a mixtape, but because of the audience he'd accrued, he began scamming his fans, hitting a quick lick via fake promos. And while it probably brought in some money in the short term, it was ultimately counterproductive when you consider that everyone now knew he wasn't to be trusted. And since then, it's only gotten worse as it's become clear that he will assign his cosign to anything. These days, his account is basically the IG equivalent of the classified ads section of a newspaper. While it's definitely not a victimless act, scamming people like this is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the dangerous paths some artists take after the fame fades. Because for a few of them, life after the spotlight gets so dark that it ends with years behind bars. Briefly, Fetty Wap was once ruling the commercial roost, with an upside potential which seemed to stretch for years to come. With tracks like Trap Queen and 679, Fetty arrived on the charts as though he would never leave. But unfortunately, it wasn't built to last. This is something that Fetty essentially saw happening in real time.
I know for a fact I was clearing 100,000 every day. Now, the day I woke up and I only made like 40,000, I'm like, some shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, 40,000, 40,000, 40,000, 30,000. Hey, we want to book Fetty for 50,000. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, okay. This is what time?
This is the end of 2017. And I'm like, all right, it's happening. I'm like, this will shit start getting dark.
Left to fend for himself, those who were close to him say the label basically left him behind the moment that they felt there was nothing more to gain.
Looking on the outside, I hear people hate on Fetty even now, saying things like, oh, he fell off. And it's like, do you mean he fell off as in he doesn't make good music anymore? Because he still makes that quality type of music. But if a record label is no longer pushing you or they got you on the shelf and they pushing somebody else, then that's the reason why you're not hearing him no more. So are you talking about fell off because you don't hear him no more? Or are you talking about fell off because his talent died down? You know, and a lot of people don't understand that when they get the bash and the talking, it's like, what are we talking about here?
And once the money is dried up, Fetty Wap struggled to adjust his lifestyle. With that, he reportedly started selling drugs and wound up indicted by the feds. During his trial, his lawyer claimed that the pandemic meant that there were no opportunities to perform. Thus, his income was severely limited. He was sued personally, was going through a divorce, and was involved with a tour manager who was stealing from him. While the bills kept coming in, the money to pay them was running out. When it was all said and done, Fetty was sentenced to 6 years in prison in New York and is currently serving his sentence at a claimed that the pandemic meant that there were no opportunities
talking about here.
And once the money is dried up, Fetty Wap struggled to adjust his lifestyle. With that, he reportedly started selling drugs and wound up indicted by the feds. During his trial, his lawyer claimed that the pandemic meant that there were no opportunities to perform. Thus, his income was severely limited. He was sued personally, was going through a divorce, and was involved with a tour manager who was stealing from him. While the bills kept coming in, the money to pay them was running out. When it was all said and done, Fetty was sentenced to 6 years in prison in New York and is currently currently serving his sentence at a low-security prison in Sandstone, Minnesota. From #1 albums to incarceration, Fetty's downward trajectory shows just how bad it can get when an artist's career dies out, and they haven't envisioned how to get themselves out of that hole.
I know Fetty Wap the rapper. I don't know no drug dealing, like that. But of course, I see a lot with local rappers, and especially with local rappers. Because once you spend all your money, you got to go back to what you know. I see it more happen with artists that's not at the top, that haven't been to the top. I ain't never really seen it with rappers who already up there, then go back all the way to the streets, like heavy in the game.
However, while many of these artists wind up being cautionary tales, there can be positives that emerge from leaving the rap game behind.
Bro, what happened to this man, bro? He only made one song and dead. Like, what happened to him? Trinidad James. Going on my chain. Going on my watch. Don't believe that you watch. Trinidad James. I used to bump that song so much.
At the right time to pursue a new career. Best known for his hit single All Gold Everything, Trinidad James was the epitome of a one-hit wonder. But rather than fade into obscurity, he wound up hosting Full Size Run, a sneaker show on Complex, which pulls in major views on a regular basis. According to James, this essentially happened just because he seized an opportunity.
Was there ever a conscious moment where you were like, I want to become a commentator, I want to become a podcaster, I want to transition, I want to be able to talk on camera, and that is part of my value. I'm not just a music guy.
No, I never think about the next step when it comes
He sound like Cam Newton. Like his
to really thinking it out. I worship things being organic. Like I really look forward to things being organic. The Complex thing, when it really popped.
I didn't know he was gonna sound like that, but I thought he was gonna be like something different.
It just
ignorant, but he don't.
kind of
I'm not saying it like that, but
popped up, bro. Like I did this show as a guest, and then my accountant was like, hey, bro, maybe you should go up there and fucking do the show. And I was like, I don't need that money. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about the money. I wasn't thinking like how I need to think, which is like business.
Building something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute. This is a new chance for me to come, pitch my brand.
But they don't always have to segue into the media to be regarded as a success. Some of them simply made shrewd business moves. While most of his peers turned to scamming after falling off, Comethazine stuck to the same grind mindset.
What happened to him? He switched his whole image, bro. He rebranded himself. He like a whole different person.
Comethazine
He didn't fall off, I think.
stuck to the same grind mindset he had back when he was juggling a bunch of jobs before going all in on music.
I used to make pieces and shit. I used to work in the food court in the mall, and I was a mechanic. I was still putting out music, doing everything, going to parties and shit, chilling with motherfuckers, but I was just a mechanic, making money, making dough, making way more than other niggas was making, you feel me? Like, niggas had jobs, but niggas were mechanics, bro.
Lost in a sea of similar artists, he admitted
Go get it one day. You can brag. You really gotta work for that bag. Go get it one day.
admitted he was just another SoundCloud era rapper, even though he knew he was capable of more. I actually used to write. I flowed on some Joey Badass type shit, he says. That shit wasn't going nowhere for me. So I was like, let me do some ignorant shit, see if this shit works. But his whole career wasn't exactly built to last. For starters, his initial buzz came by accident. His song Bands got mistakenly swapped into the spot where YB and Namir's track was supposed to be, which led to an accidental #1 on SoundCloud. What happened was that an account known as SoundCloud had previously been hosting YB and Namir's viral single Bounce Out with that. After that track accumulated millions of plays and climbed to the top of the charts, the account took advantage of SoundCloud's option to substitute new audio files at any time. So following a quick swap, Comethazine's Bands appeared to have millions of plays and sat atop SoundCloud's chart. However, people started to notice and the song was taken down. After this happy mishap, Walk made him a fully fledged star, resulting in his biggest record ever, but he never truly took to the charts the way that people expected. And besides that, he had to come back
2018, 2019, that in 3 years, 2018
out of relationship with fans, often warring with them in his
where the features, bro. Why did you do us like that, bro? A whole from mid-album with no features. Oh yeah, I know what album he talking about. The one that came out in 2020. The album wasn't trash though.
DMs. Where the features at, bro? Why you do us like that, bro? A whole ass year for a mid-ass album with no features. Nah, you not a fan. I don't do features. Never have, never will, bitch boy. Although treating your fans like that is pretty inadvisable, he maybe felt empowered to do so because he future-proofed his life by buying up Subway.
Why they say this breakfast club is power on
Locations.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
A couple businesses, 35 fat burgers.
35 fat burgers?
Subways. I got a couple Subways already.
For real?
Residual income. Come on now.
Nah, that's fire. Shout out to you.
Come on now, man. I seen so many rappers do this shit for like 2 years and be done with it. What? You feel me? Like, come on now. Gotta be smart with that shit. I still got ice and shit, but like, I got a couple businesses already.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Dang, you got 2 Subways already?
Mm-hmm.
That's very impressive.
And while that is definitely a smart strategy, he'll certainly hope his staff are a little more civil to customers than he is to his audience. Comethazine's example is one that more rappers of his era should heed, but he's far from the only rapper to have seen the writing on the wall. Just like Comethazine, New York rapper Mike Geronimo seemed aware that his time in the game was finite. Even though his debut album The Natural suggested there was big things ahead, Mike couldn't ever make the transition to a fully fledged star who could make a real
I want to see this. It's a long vid though.
We're gonna list these 10.
Oh snap.